Yo guys, what's up? It's Eric Mays. I'm here with Lakey. I actually kind of randomly came across him on Facebook, just searching hashtag San Diego, seeing kind of what was going on a couple of days ago. And I came across his artwork, and basically he kind of bounces around from city to city, um, basically just making a living selling prints of his work and kind of doodling as he goes. I just want to ask him a couple of questions about bouncing around different, basically different cities and all that, just kind of living off your art. Um, how long have you kind of been bouncing around, besides just doing like cities from where you're originally from?
Well, I'm usually in Austin, Texas uh, during the late fall and winter time, and then whenever spring comes around, pack everything up and start just going city to city. Last year I did like the East and the Midwest, all the way up to New York and Boston, and down through
Nice.
Ohio. The year before that, that was before the whole student tie set up.
The world tour.
Yeah, that one I did the Nashville, Charlotte, and then south of there in Georgia and Florida a bit.
Okay, cool, man. I'm sure, where were you originally from? Austin, mostly? Or?
I was born in Corpus, lived all over Texas, but I've been in Austin most recently. It's about the only place in Texas where
seems
I
pretty
think
friendly,
you can
doesn't
legally
it?
do this.
This type of living. Where did you kind of get the inspiration to kind of get rid of the safety net and just be able to bounce around from spot to spot? Was it something that was in your back of the head for a while, or was it just something that happened like right away one day and then you kind of decided to take off?
I sort of come from a hard background, so it wasn't the most intimidating thing in the world. And then when I was little, like I'd always wanted to travel doing something.
Yeah.
I didn't learn how to do art until I was 22, and then art and poetry ended up being what started taking me across. And then last year and this year I haven't hardly done any poetry, but every once in a while I'll go to a slam poetry event and do something there.
Nice. And you said so you basically sell on average. You said about 5 prints a day or so, give or take.
3 to 5
3 to
on
5?
average. Some days they'll break out. Recently sold 14 in a day.
Nice.
Last Thursday.
Yeah, it'll be up and down. You have little spurts and great days and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, one of the reasons why I thought it was really cool that I randomly came across on Facebook is just how social media can randomly connect, people that are like totally strangers. And I was just like so inspired by his story about bouncing around the country, and I kind of want to send him some business. So I'm gonna give him your Instagram, and how else can people get a hold of you to kind of track down some of your artwork?
Best way is like down here on sign, facebook.com/Lakey the Poet and instagram.com/LakeyThe. And then there's also shirts available for most of this stuff at oursociety.com, and that's oursocietee.com.
Okay. Cool, man. And you said you kind of basically bounce around the city, maybe couch surf here and there. How has like either social media like Facebook and Instagram, how has that either spread the word, or at least maybe even keep in contact with people that you've either sold prints for or something like that?
Facebook has helped a little bit with generating new sales, and finding new people that otherwise would have never heard of me. And then Instagram, it's helped with sales a little bit, but mostly like getting places to stay. It actually came in really handy.
And for somebody that's never like couch surfed and bounced around before, what would you kind of tell to people that's kind of more open-minded about either couch surfing or hostels and stuff like that? You don't have to see, you don't have to stay at 5-star resorts to see the world.
Well, like, first off, if you're traveling on a budget, I would say just be open-minded to sleeping outside first off,
Yeah,
because
there you
if you're open-minded to sleeping outside, then anything else is a step
bonus.
up.
Yeah. A plus on top of that.
Yeah, yeah. Like uh, hostels have been okay. I didn't have an ID last year or the year before, so
Okay.
that was actually a challenge. This year I have an ID and a debit card with my name on it.
Yeah.
So
Now the world's open up.
yeah, yeah, I can actually rent rooms and stuff now. I've only been on the road like 12 days, but I haven't had sleep outside so far.
Nice.
And I'm going to be in LA next, and I'm set up with at least a week to stay there, probably longer.
Yeah. So that shows that if you're willing to accept the universe and go outside your comfort zone, you might not even have to.
Indeed. Another thing that's helped with it, though, is being affiliated with the Poetry Slam.
Okay.
Like y'all have Poetry Slam here, it's called Elevated Slam. And actually really great talent from San Diego.
Nice.
What was it about? Being in contact with them, like I will contact a slam master and let them know, hey, I'm touring the country, I'm not exactly with poetry anymore,
Yeah.
but I seen if any poets had a place to stay, and then a lot of
The
times
willingness of the community or something.
yeah, I mean, since I've been a part of the community and everything's been fine and everything, that's opened a lot of doors, and it's a nationwide network, so really anything anybody can get in.
Yeah.
It's nationwide network. It doesn't matter how silly of something they happen to get in, as long as it gives you that network,
Yeah.
like, opens up a lot of doors for you.
For sure, right on. I was actually a little bit jealous. This guy's bouncing around. I saw pictures of him hanging out in South by Southwest. I didn't get to go to South by Southwest. This guy did. Can you tell people a little bit about tracking down either like high traffic areas in the city that you're at, or bouncing around at different festivals where this type of it's not like a foreign thing to them. Like people are much more willing and receptive.
I really haven't planned it around those very much. Like Austin's home base for me, and I knew from last year that South by Southwest was just insane. So I had to stay out there for that, and I never go to any of the events. Like I've been there for 2 South by Southwest. I haven't seen a single event, but I've had a great time.
Yeah, it's more about just the people you meet, and
yeah.
you pretty much pay
people
for
are a whole lot more,
your trip while just sharing the art.
People are a whole lot more open-minded during that time. Like even locals, they'll be like, "Oh, I've walked past you 20 times, but I figured I'd stop today." And it's like just because it's South by Southwest, I guess. I don't know. But
nice.
and then in a new area, as far as finding a place, sometimes I'll get on Facebook and figure an area out. Other times, like as I've been traveling, just travelers themselves talk about areas that are good, and then if you get in the city, you just look for someone with overalls and a dog and say, where do I set up?
Nice, right on, man. Well, yeah, I just really wanted to come by and say what's up. I saw he was in town for another day. You're heading up to LA in the Bay Area, and then next.
I'll end up heading out east to be in Cleveland, Ohio for an art festival out there, and then I'll go to New York after that, and then it's really open from there. I might end up going south or head back west, or
that's part of the fun. Not knowing where it is. The open ticket.
yeah, because you never know what's gonna happen. You might the next day someone might be like, "Hey, we're going to this place. You want to go with us?"
Yeah, let's roll.
Sure, let's go.
Nice. What kind of random kind of stories would you, just like you said, like either couch surfing or people you met and stayed with, or somebody who bought art, just about the willingness of like total strangers like appreciating like what you putting into the what you're up to?
I would say the coolest one, like the person with the least amount of like preview as to who I was or anything about me that had just opened their house was in Cleveland. I was out there the first night after I'd been in Pittsburgh, didn't sell a single thing, luckily I was housed up with some awesome people from Poetry Slam community, so that was taken care of, but no sales there. So I got in Cleveland all bummed out. It was raining. I ended up, the rain went away, I set up, I ended up making over $100 right by a Matisse Yahoo concert.
Okay, there you go.
And then some girl ended up buying something from me, and then she saw a post on Facebook that I still didn't have a place to stay.
Oh, nice.
So she
Opened
let
it
me
up.
go out and stay at her place for the whole time.
Cool. Right on, man. I mean, that just shows you, like, you never know what to expect when you just, like, open yourself
Yeah.
up, man.
And then I couch surfed with someone else in Cleveland, and during South by Southwest, they saw me posted up drawing.
Nice. Oh, so they were there.
Yeah, yeah. So there's been a few times someone from a different
like, you
city
look
has
familiar.
seen
We
me.
remember you.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, I definitely, I just really appreciated, like, the mission that you were around. What kind of, like, was there something, either like a book I read or a movie you saw, like, a couple years ago that just, like, really opened your mind to just no limits, just kind of drop it off and get rolling?
I
To
was
kind of
reading
inspire
a
the
few
vagabond
books
lifestyle?
back then. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now was one of them, and then a couple of Bob Dylan biographies.
There you go.
And several Tom Robbins books.
Cool, man.
All of them sort of led that way in some respect or another.
Cool, for sure, for sure. All right, well, yeah, I just wanted to say what's up. I just wanted to give him props. I wanted to wish him well on his journey, like throwing around. When you get back in San Diego, we'll have to have a beer or something for sure.
For sure.
Hopefully, I want to try to send this guy some business because he's funding his passion. He's chasing his passion, not a pension. He gave up the suit and tie, like 9-to-5 job. Tell me a little bit about, like, has this sign worked for you more since Grandma's inspiration?
Oh, for sure. Like before this sign, it was a complete struggle. Like I wasn't even able to say hello to people. I'd be like, hey, good afternoon. Like have a smile and everything, and they just walk past. Like wouldn't look, wouldn't anything. And I would say over 99.5% of people just completely ignored me back then. And now with this sign, I would say at least around 20% will like smile or take a picture, buy something.
Yeah.
Or say
Add you on
inspire
Facebook,
them.
like give
Yeah,
you
Get an interview
Yeah.
randomly.
Give
from
this guy a
someone who
retweet or
found
something.
hashtag.
Come on, retweet this guy. So what's up? Hashtag living the life. Whatever. Yeah, you said you basically been all over so far. Have you come across other traveling artists or people that kind of have been able to either give you some pointers or kind of just kind of like share their story too?
Oh, well, I mean, I started the whole busking, street performing thing out in Nashville right after Bonnaroo and right before
go.
the Rainbow Gathering. So, I mean, Nashville's already a city crawling with street performers and musicians, and then it was just like doubled or tripled with
Yeah,
all of
even
them
more
there.
foot traffic, huh?
So, first thing I did when I went in town, just went and found an old timer, guitar Mike.
Okay.
Black guy plays a green guitar out there. He taught me quite a bit, and then one of the coolest ones, one of the most talented people I've ever met on the street with an awesome story, Abby, the Spoon Lady.
Okay.
She sort of, like myself, romanticized the street life, but she didn't want to go out and be a beggar. So she couldn't play
You're
any
not just sitting here out with a
instruments.
sign. You're actually
Yeah.
bringing value and sharing your art with the world.
Like, she wanted to do something like that to give back, and she ended up going with the spoons, and she'd just get 2 spoons and be like, and she is amazing at it. You can check YouTube, and there's like tons and tons of videos
Nice.
of her going on.
So yeah, like I just thought it was awesome that this guy, banished the idea of like sitting in a cubicle in an office, and like this is literally his cubicle. Like he can bounce it around the world. Tell me about like I mean, how is that office view compared to like a high-rise corner office?
Like just every job. I mean, to so many jobs there, I feel like there's jumping through hoops. Like even in the artist community, you have to start out at this gallery, and then you have to work up so you can go to this gallery, and then this gallery. Like, and even if your art is as good as this guy's, like you still have to go through all their steps. And I feel like this frees you from all of that. You're not taking anything from anyone else. You're not getting in anyone else's competitive circle, but you're making your stuff
you don't have
where
any
it's
competition out
always
here.
available. Yeah, there really are hardly any street artists out here, like in any of the cities. In Austin, I saw a handful of them every once in a while, but they never lasted very long. It's mostly musicians and people who make little crafts and stuff.
Cool. For sure, man. Well, I just wanted to thank you again for your time and hanging out. So, be able to, I'll shoot another video like thumbing through his book so you guys can pick something out, send this guy some business. So find him on Facebook, Lakey the Poet. All right, later guys.